So what's up, everybody? This is a doorway here. Well, actually, Diamond. You guys know me on this channel as Diamond. So this is a live segment that I'm actually going to start. Let's see which way is better. If I did it that way, let's see. About the same. Let me try something here. About the same. All right, so you guys know me as Diamond, but anyway, I figured I would just start this live segment. And don't mind me, I'm eating Chunky Monkey ice cream right now. But I figured I would start this live segment, and basically I'm going to talk to you about some of the things that have happened in my life. Which way is better? We're trying to think. Let's see. All right, here we go. You can see me a little bit better that way. A little closer, right? All right. So let me share this segment. Give me a second. I'm going to share this on Facebook so people know that I'm finally live, because I posted before that I was actually live and it took me a while to get on here. So, yeah. I need some better lighting in here. Like, my kitchen sucks. All right, so give me a sec. I'm going to share this. I thought there was a way I could share it from here, but I can't. So just give me a sec, please. And I'm going to share this on Facebook. So what the segment is basically going to be talking about is, like I said, my life, some of the things that have happened in my life. I feel like I've led an exciting life. I don't think it's been boring. So why not share it with you guys, right? All right, here it is. Here's the video. I'm about to share it to Facebook. All right. Hello to whoever's watching me. If you have any questions while I'm actually talking, I think you can type them in and I'll be able to answer you. Okay. All right. And if I can't, yeah, I should be. I'll just keep this phone open so I can actually see if you guys leave any questions or not. All right. So I'm trying to think, how far back do I want to take it? I'll take it as far back to, I'll start from when I thought that I wanted to be a drug dealer. I was maybe about, I want to say 16. Let me think, because I was in high school. So 16, 17, maybe 16, 17 years old. I was living in Coney Island, New York. You know, New York is where I'm from. So I was living in Coney Island, and I was just getting bored with my life. I didn't have a hard life. You know, where we lived in Coney Island, it was exciting. It was fun. Like I said, it's going to be a little ghetto because I will be eating ice cream. So it was exciting. It was fun living in Coney Island. There was, you know, a lot of drug dealers around. Now, like I said, this is back when I was 16, 17. I'm in my 40s now, so this was years ago. And I was dating, well, not really dating this guy, but had a crush on this guy that was something like the neighborhood big-time drug dealer back then. So I had a crush on him. I wasn't dating him, but I was like 16 years old. I had a crush on him, right? So I used to hang around him, like around his building. Like, I lived on 34th Street in New York. He lived on, let's just say, like I lived on Neptune Avenue. He lived on Surf Avenue. So, you know, Coney Island is around the beaches. It's a lot of water, but he lived closer to the beach than I did, although I could walk to the beach. So anyway, I used to see this guy all the time, and I'm just going to keep it real. May he rest in peace. His name was Chocolate. So I used to see Chocolate all the time, right? So I used to see like the people in my neighborhood selling drugs and doing different things. And like I said, I was like a good girl back then, or what they call a good girl. So I actually, you know, started talking to him, not like dating, because he was like, you too young, little girl. You know, they used to call you young. They call you cute, but they would always call you young or whatever, right? So I was hanging with this white girl. Now, the white girl, I can't remember her name, but she used to swear she was black. Like, she used to dress like she used to boost. Only thing that chick wore was polo. She had gold teeth in her mouth and everything. I don't remember actually what her name is because I had to whoop her ass like after a while. I had to beat the brakes off the shit. But anyway, so we was hanging together, right? So both of us, she started coming to Coney Island hanging with me. She lived in Brighton Beach. That's where like a lot of the white people lived at, in Brighton Beach, right? So one day I got bold enough, right? And I was just like, fuck it. I'm going to go talk to him and I'm going to tell him that I want to sell drugs. Now, don't even ask me, like I said, why I wanted to sell drugs. My mother was giving me money. At the time, did I have a job at the time? Let me think. I'm not sure if I had a job or not, but hold on. All right, let me put my ice cream away because I'm going to have to enjoy this while I'm talking to you guys. Give me a second. I'll put this back in the freezer. 1 second. Uh-oh. I'm back. So anyway, so I went to him, right? From what I can recall, I went to him and I was like, I need to get a package from you. So he was like, a package? I was like, yeah, I want to start selling drugs. Like, I didn't know any other way to tell this dude that I wanted to sell drugs, right? You know, I hadn't really been around. Well, I'm not going to lie. I used to hang around drug dealers. They used to sell like crack and weed and stuff. But I didn't know how you went about telling someone that you wanted to sell drugs. Like, I wasn't trying to be like all big time to where I gave him money first to get the drugs or whatever. So I was just like, I want to sell drugs. And he sold crack at the time. And this is like the crack era. So I was like, fuck it. I want to sell some drugs. So he gave me like a big ass bag of crack. Like, I don't even know why he even, first of all, you didn't know if I had customers, which I did not. You didn't even know if I knew how to sell drugs, which I did not. But he gave me this bag of crack, right? So I remember when I got it, I put it in my book bag. Now, if you guys actually watch my web series, I talk about this. I just don't go as much into detail as I'm talking to you guys right now, right? So I do talk about it. But he pretty much gave me this bag of crack, right? So I put it in my book bag. Like in my web series, you see me put it in my coach bag. Like I have a big coach bag and I'm talking about it like in this room that looks like the projects or whatever, right? So he gives me the crack, right? He gives me the crack. So I go home and now I'm in my bedroom, right? I'm in my bedroom and I'm trying to figure out, okay, what is my next move? Like, you don't really know a lot of crackheads. Like, used to be crackheads around, but I didn't really know like a lot of crackheads. So I was like, okay, how the hell am I going to sell this stuff? Keep in mind, I'm 16, right? I'm like 16 years old. So it was either that day or the next day. I don't think I had school. Yeah, I didn't have school, right? So I call my friend. I can't think of the white girl's name, but I call her because I knew she hung around with a lot of black people. She knew a lot of black people, right? And she knew, you know, she's a white girl. So she probably knew some white people in her neighborhood that smoke crack or whatever, right? So I called her. She comes over. We're in Coney Island, right? She comes over to my house. I give her half of the crack valves, right? And I was like, yo, get these off, like sell these in your neighborhood or whatever. So she was like, all right, you know, like I said, she dated black guys. She used to boost. She was like the white girl, and she was Russian too. She's like the fly ass white girl with the red hair, rocking polo like all the time. And she used to hang with the low lives. If you're from New York, then you know who the low lives are. They're guys that boost, you know, used to rob still just for polo. So she used to hang around them. She dated one of them. So I was like, well, shit, somebody can help you get it off. All right. So she goes back home, right? So now here it is. I have this crack. So I'm like, okay, what are you going to do? You need to sell it now. How are you going to sell it? Right? So I go outside. Oh, wait. Let me just tell you guys how I used to dress back then. Now, I didn't dress like how I dress now, which I feel like I dress pretty normal. I used to dress like what they call bohemian. If you're not sure what bohemian is, I used to wear like bell bottoms. I dress alternative, basically. So I didn't look like how everybody else looked. So they wouldn't really, you know, I stood out, but I didn't look like a drug dealer. Like I didn't have the big earrings, the jewelry, like in my web series, I switched it around. So in my web series, you saw me, you know, with the big jewelry, with the necklaces, with the gold and all that. Back then, I used to wear like turbans on my head, like the big turbans, you know. I used to wear the turbans, and I used to wear, you know, bell bottoms. And if I wore wigs, they would be white. If I had my hair braided, it'd be white, red, green, yellow, you know, all these different colors or whatever. So I thought that that was pretty cool for me at the time. So I'm trying to look on here to see if anybody's leaving a message, and it doesn't look like it. So I guess hopefully this conversation is getting good for you guys. I'll say, okay, all right, 2 people watching now, cool. So anyway, so I go outside, right? So keep in mind, I have on my turban, you know, my big turban. I probably had on like some type of jacket, blazer, or whatever, with a belt around it, kind of looking like Jody Watley. If you're from the old school, you remember how Jody Watley looked. That was kind of like how I was looking, or some type of like Erykah Badu. Like if I had braids, I would have like 2 hanging out the top of my turban. So all right, so we had like a stoop, like steps in front of my building, right? We lived over Key Food grocery store. So what I did was I was like, all right, well, I'm not stupid. I was like, I can't leave this. I can't keep this crack on me, because if the cops do a raid, they come running up here, they'll take me to jail because I have drugs on me. So what I did was, and I didn't take all the drugs outside. I maybe took like maybe 20 vials, I'm thinking, outside. So I found, I was sitting near the garbage, right? So I found like a paper bag that had a soda can in it, right? So what I did was I put the crack vials in the soda can, and I boiled it back up, and I like just threw it on the ground, not too far from me, but not too close to me either, right? So as I saw crackheads going by, and you could tell a crackhead because they looking around and all of that. So I was like, yo, I got that for you. And they'd be like, they would look at me and like keep on walking, and I'd be like, yo, I got that. So they like, what you talking about? So I was like, I got that. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna give you a little tester. So I didn't know what the hell testers was. I just saw that people used to do that. So I would get the bag, right? And I would, now keep in mind now this is how stupid I was. They could have just snatched that damn bag and boom, crackhead been out. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm literally showing them where I'm getting the drugs from. So I took like one crack vial, right? Opened it up and like broke the little piece of rock, and I was like, hey, go test that. If you like it, come back. I got you. So I did that to maybe 3 crackheads, right? So they came back. They was like, let me get 1, let me get 2. So, you know, crack was like $10. So I'm selling them right there, whatever, right? So next thing you know, I'm selling not even an hour. I'm done, right? So I'm like, oh, shit. So I got like $200. Think like 200, something like that. So I was like, oh, damn. So I was done selling the crack for the day. Well, at least for like that hour. So I was like, well, shit, I'll go upstairs and get some more. So that's what I did. So I went upstairs, you know, and at the time I was keeping the crack in my radiator. Now, if anybody knows about, we wasn't living in public housing and nothing like that. But if anybody knows about apartments in New York, a lot of the old apartments don't have central air, central heat. So around this time, it was like springtime. So I didn't have to worry about them turning on the heat, the radiator, which is being turned on the heat, and then, you know, the fucking crack cooking in my house. So I went and got like 10 more. So I came back downstairs. So, yo, let me tell you one thing about crackheads. And I'm not proud of this. I'm not glorifying selling drugs or being a drug dealer, but hell, it's my past. You know, your past makes you who you are today. So I'm just telling you guys that it is what it is. All right. So I came back downstairs, right? So it was one crackhead that I knew, like, he had to know all the crackheads because he used to be around all the crackheads. So I was like, well, shit, I'm trying to go play with my friends or whatever. So I gave him the 10 crack vials. And I was like, yo, just bring me back the money. I don't care if you cut it, step on it, whatever you do, just bring me back, you know, $100 or whatever. Because I had like the $10 vials. So I was like, meet me back here in like an hour. Now, look at me. Yeah, I'm thinking really a fucking crackhead's going to really give you back your money. But I took the chance, right? So I left. And I think I went to like O'Dwyer. If you're from Coney Island, you know what O'Dwyer is. So I went over there and I hung out with some of my friends for like a little while. Then I had to remember, I was like, oh shit, because I had a page. I was like, oh shit, I got to go back. So I went back and I told him just to meet me in front of, you know, Key Food in an hour. So, yo, the crackhead was actually there. Yes, this is no lie. He was there, right? And he gave me $200. And I was like, why are you giving me $200? He was like, yo, these fucking rocks is big. I was selling them like for 20 instead of 10. So I was like, oh, well, that's what's up. Thank you. So I gave him like $50. I know that's a lot for a crackhead, right? But I gave him like $50 and I was like, well, thank you. Right. And I was like, yo, you want to start working for me? He was like, yeah. So look at me now. I don't know how to sell drugs, right? Then got the drugs from the guy. And now I'm employing somebody else. Keep in mind, I gave old girl half of the vows already, right? Remember? Gave her half so she could do her thing in Brighton Beach. So I was like, yo, just meet me. So every day I would tell him, you know, meet me in front of Key Food. I'll give you whatever. And then you get them off, right? So the next day I had school, right? I had school. I was going to graphic communication arts in Manhattan. They call it printing. So I was going to school. So me and old girl went to the same school, right? So I go to school and I'm like, yo, did you get any off? And she was like, no, not yet. I didn't think about it. I was like, yo, well, just give me my shit back. You know what I'm saying? Like, meet me, you know, I was like, meet me at my crib and just give it back if you're not going to sell it. So she was like, nah, so I was like, listen, my shit is moving fast. You need to do something with yours. You know what I'm saying? So we ended up going out to the city. Like, we was already in the city, but we went deeper into the city because she wanted to go boosting, right? So she goes boosting. Don't you know this bitch gets caught? We in Macy's, right? This stupid hoe gets caught boosting out of Macy's. So she just, pew. So she's trying to put shit in my bag, right? And I'm like, yo, don't be trying to put nothing in my bag. So the bitch gets caught or whatever. That's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother segment in itself. So we're going to leave that one alone for a while. All right. So I get back home, right? So this was like a day, right? I get back home. So now it's time for me to go outside to meet the guy, the crackhead, right? Time for me to go meet him. But I couldn't find my crack. Yeah. Remember, I kept it in the radiator, right? I'm looking all in the radiator. I couldn't find the shit. So I'm like, what the fuck? Where the hell is that crack? Do you guys want to know where the crack was? All right. Let me tell you what happened. So I remember that night, right? When I came back upstairs, I was like, shit, somebody might find this shit. Like my mom, somebody even came in. So I was nervous due to the fact that somebody might find it. Don't you know my stupid ass had forgot that I put that shit in my fucking book bag and took that shit to school with me. Now you probably saying, well, you went to school. How did you not realize that it was in your book bag? Well, that day I cut school. I didn't stay in school. Like I was in school for like maybe 3 classes and then we left so old girl could go boosting. So I didn't even stay in school, but thank God that and I got to school late, but I went through like the back door because at my school they had the metal detectors and like the thing where you the belt where you had to put your book bag on the belt to actually go in. Like they would look at it. They could look through your book bag, kind of like when you go to the airport. They had one of those in my school now. When I first went there, they didn't have it, but I guess shit was starting to get bad in New York, so they had it, right? So could you have imagined had I showed up on time, had I not thought about cutting class, had I not thought about any of that stuff, that basically I'd have been in jail on a damn drug charge at 16 years old. Crazy. Right? Crazy. So yeah, so I go back outside. Remember, I told the guy, come back and meet me, right? So I go back outside. The guy's there. This time I gave him 20 because remember I told y'all, old boy had gave me a big fucking jumbo bag. So same scenario. I gave the guy the drugs. I didn't know if he was smoking or whatever. He would bring me back my money, right? So that same day, the guy that I was working for named Chocolate comes to my neighborhood. So he's like, yo, did you get any off or whatever? And I was like, yeah, I got some money for you. So of course, oh, another thing too, I didn't keep the money on me so I wouldn't get robbed. Like I would put the money somewhere else in the vicinity where nobody saw me stashing it so that I wouldn't get robbed or whatever. So just while I'm giving Chocolate the money, there was a guy that lived in my building that sold drugs too. I'm not going to say any names, but if he watches this, he knows who I'm talking about. So he was sitting like maybe 5 benches from where I sat, right? Don't you know Chocolate robbed him? Yes, He went over there and he robbed him, and he was like, yo, this her street now, this her corner. If I see you out here, I'm gonna hurt you. I'm gonna do this and the third. So I'm like, nah, come on, B. So now I'm like, yo, I have to live in this building. This dude probably think I got him robbed, probably think I set him up. Like, this was some crazy shit. Now keep in mind, guys, this is me, 16 years old. Chocolate doesn't live in my building. Chocolate lives down the street, like way down the street. Like I'm in the 30s. He's in the teens as far as like where he lives at. So he robbed the guy. And what was so crazy was I used to talk to the guy. That was crazy. So I didn't know how I was going to fucking explain to him that I did not get him set up. You get what I'm saying? Till this day we speak, like he, you know, he didn't never take it. He never held it against me or nothing like that. But I was just like, oh my God, that could have went so wrong so quick. You feel me? So remember I told y'all that I told old girl to meet me at my crib to bring them crack vials back, right? Well, she never brought them back that day. Never brought them back the next day, nothing. So next day I went to school. She wasn't there, whatever. So I was like, what the fuck ever. I didn't know what was going on with her. I was paging her. She wasn't answering, whatever. Like she skated with the damn dope or whatever, right? So after that, now this story gets really, really, really interesting. So after that day, so I come home, right? Now this time I did leave the crack valves in the radiator. All right. So I go home and my mother's home, right? And she's like, so I come in the house, she's like, what the fuck is this? Yo, why my mom's had the crack valves in her hand? Yeah. How she found them in the radiator, I have no idea. So now I had to explain to her what I was doing with crack, right? So she takes them and she flushes them like she did something with that damn crack. So I was like, yo, Ma, I owe somebody. Like, I have to give this person back their money. Like, how are you just, you know, getting rid of these like that? You can't do that. So of course I get punished, you know, punishment and all that stuff. But now it's like, what am I going to tell this guy? What am I going to tell him about what happened to his crack? And I don't have the money to give him. So now, guys, my mother's found the crack. She's gotten rid of the crack. I have to tell the guy that, you know, I don't have the crack for him. And so now what's going to happen to me? That's something that you guys are going to have to wait on. I will continue telling you this story tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed it. If you just came, this is going to be uploaded. So as soon as I press stop, you can go back and rewind and, you know, watch the video. But I'll continue this story tomorrow, guys, and we'll go from there. Bye. Thanks for watching.